back, folks, as the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. Thanks again so much for joining us this hour and learning more about how you can save money in your real estate transactions. So I want to go through a report that comes out every year. And if you will text me the word report to 843-800-0065, again, text the word report to 843-800-0065. I will provide you with this breakdown. And so let me tell you what you're kind of getting yourself into if you do this. It goes through basically 25 different projects that you can do around your house. Now, these are renovation-based projects, and it will tell you how much the job costs on average in Charleston compared to the South Atlantic region versus just the national average for how much these jobs cost, how much resale value these different jobs offer up when the property sells, and then how much cost you're recouping from these projects. And some of these numbers are, I think, quite surprising. So I want to go through this. I want to highlight a few, and then I want to add a little bit of my opinion, kind of as always. But again, if you want this report, text the word report to 843-800-0065. Now, I'm going to start with the project that offers up the lowest percentage in terms of recouping your cost. And that project is a master suite addition. Now, this is an upscale master suite addition. And what's nice about this report, so that I don't have to get into all of this, is that it will describe to you the scope of these different projects in this report. So obviously every project is going to be different. And there are a ton of different variables here, which is why this data is interesting, but not perfectly applicable to you and your situation. But a master suite addition, an upscale one, is going to cost on average $312,000. The resale value is just a little under $60,000, which means you are recouping 19% of the total cost of that project. Here's another one, a master bathroom remodel, a really upscale one. It's going to cost you about $75,000. The resale value associated with that is a little over $26,000. So you're getting back 35% of your money. How about a major kitchen remodel? And I can attest to this because we remodeled our kitchen a few years ago. And I think if I did now what I did then these costs would be in line. We did about a 6-figure kitchen renovation. We totally gutted it, did the whole 9 yards, right? It's our forever home. And so we felt like it was time to bring it up to speed. It was a home that was built in the late 90s and it just needed a little love. So a master kitchen remodel, an upscale remodel, is going to cost you $150,000. The resale value associated with that is $39,000, which means you're recouping 26% of your investment. And there's a bunch of different projects here. Interestingly, on this list, there are only 2 that actually show that the cost recouped is more than the cost spent. In other words, the resale value is higher than the cost of the project. Those 2 projects are, number 1, manufactured stone veneer, which is not really a Charleston-based thing, which kind of causes me to question this report a little bit, if I'm being honest, because you just don't see a lot of that. It's not really our aesthetic here locally, and it's costly, And then the second project is creating a grand entrance with a fiberglass door and double-sided windows. Now, the cost of a grand entrance, so to speak, is $11,000. The cost recouped is 107% of that. So you're going to get some of your money back and then some on average for something like that. And it does make a really big difference. I mean, that front entryway goes along with curb appeal for the house. It can make a big difference. But here's what I want to say about this report in general. And I'm happy to share this with you. All you have to do is text the word report to 843-800-0065. It's about 8 pages. And I'll send it right over to you by email. You just need to also, I'll reply back to your text asking for your email address so that I can actually deliver the report to you. But here's what I want to say about renovations in general. Let's say that you have a home that really hasn't been updated since like the 80s. It's cosmetically out of date, right? It needs some love. Might be in good condition, but it's just older. It does not make sense. If you're trying to sell your home and sell it for the most money possible, it does not make sense to throw all of your eggs into one basket and do a large-scale renovation on one individual portion of the house. So, like, in other words, you live in a house that's worth $300,000. There's no sense in you going and spending $40,000, $50,000 on a master bathroom renovation. Because although that's really nice, the rest of the home is still outdated. In fact, having that really updated master bathroom is going to make the rest of the home look even more outdated. And so when we're walking through properties with folks and we're consulting them, again, coming from someone that has flipped a bunch of property, has spent millions of dollars on my own money and renovations and flips and investments, and then it's sold about 1,300 homes here locally, we can tell you the best course of action based on your budget. And it might mean, by the way, that we choose not to spend the vast majority of it and you save that money for what you want to do in the home that you buy. So we have to be very careful and highly critical about spending other people's money on renovations in order to sell. Now, we have a really cool program that you might be interested in. It's our Renovate to Sell program. So we will essentially act as a property or a project manager for you. We'll consult with you. We'll identify your budget, and then we'll tell you if we were to act as an investor or look at your property through the scope of an investor, where we would spend that money to create maximum return. In other words, there's no one silver bullet answer. There's no one right answer. Every house is different. Every situation is different. It's based on the area. It's based on the price range. It's based on the demand. And again, sometimes it's better to do nothing than to spend a bunch of money on certain areas of your home that might not provide you with the return on investment that you're looking for, or a return on investment at all in terms of like a positive return on investment. So be really careful with that. So again, if you want access to this report, and by the way, if you're a contractor, I would love your take on this. So text the word report to 843-800-0065, 843-800-0065, or you can always check it out online, listingsincharleston.com. We'll put a little blog post up there so you can download the report there. Listingsincharleston.com, or if you want, you can just email me directly and I'll reply back with the report. My email address is brian@brianbeattyteam.com. All right, stick around for the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show right here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Stay tuned for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.